Good morning, sunshine. The earth says hello. You're shining above us, we're shining below. Good morning, everyone. Zori says hello. It's episode 13 of my Lessons in Paradise. It's a series of vlog posts with which I aim to share with you guys my journey of peeling off layers of reality that I'm having in my head that are holding me back from experiencing the heaven, the paradise that we're given that's called life, rather than having to put it off sometime in the future, or when I get old, or when I die, living it here and now. And so with this, I am to also connect with you guys and tell you what's really happening for me right now and hear how does that relate to your experience so that we get to talk about meaningful stuff on Facebook. I guess because I cannot see many of you in front of me, so I want to have that connection with you guys. Starting off today, I have three things to talk about. The first one has to do with money, the second one has to do with attention, and the third one has to do with a special kind of dance. So hang in there. Starting off, I recently signed up for a coach. It came up really randomly and really unexpectedly for me because most of my life I've had a resistance towards being coached or actually having any kind of boss or authority above me. And it's been very, very interesting for me over the last week that I've shifted that and that I'm open now to be helped by this amazing woman that showed up and gave me a free session that was about my financial life actually, and I've learned so much from her already, and I still have a couple of more meetings to go with her. But I want to share a core belief that has shifted for me thanks to our interaction. So some years ago, I heard a quote that really resonated with me, which was like that everything you buy, you don't buy with money. You buy with the amount of time of your life that you had to spend working to get the money in order to be able to pay for that thing. So in a way, when you're paying for something, you're paying with your life. So for me, that was like an important shift in my mindset because it allowed me to be very, very conscious of what am I spending my money on and making sure I do it only on things I need and things I really enjoy. And it's also a big reason why I can afford to be here for such a long time without working actually. So, however, right now, at this point in my life, that belief is no longer serving me in the way it used to. Because when I embraced that belief, I was not necessarily working on things that I loved. And right now, a big shift is happening because I am working on things that I love. So then every time when I'm spending money, there's two things that are happening. The first one is I get to invest in myself, in my health, in my well-being, in my personal development, and that's a reason to celebrate and to be happy about, because what's better than investing in myself? And like it's a moment of appreciation for me. And the second thing is that I am spending for that thing with the amount of time of my life that I've spent working on something that I love. And that's a great opportunity rather than a burden. So, if it costs more money, well, then I will just have a bit more time working on what I love, which is awesome. So, so that's been a huge, huge shift for me, and I'm really grateful to Laura, to my coach, for helping me to come to that realization. And the second thing I'm very grateful to her has to do with attention. So one thing she said was like that attention is much, much more powerful than intention. So we spend a lot of time thinking of things we want to do in the future, and things that, you know, setting good intentions, asking for good things. But actually what really counts in the end of the day is how much attention you give to something. And what I've realized is that over the last couple of weeks and months, actually, I've been giving a lot of attention to connection, relationships, love. And as such, this aspect of my life has flourished. It has grown and evolved so much, and I'm feeling so happy with it. However, when it comes to career and money, for example, most of the time I haven't even been thinking about them at all. Or when I've thought about them, it's been from a place of worry, from a place of, oh, I'm going to run out of money in X amount of months, or when am I going to sit down and start working on this project? So it's been always from a place of fear, and that's not serving me. So the thing is that what Laura helped me see is that you know, there is this law of attraction that's like your beliefs and your thoughts have a gravitational pull towards stuff that is corresponding to them. And in my case, I've attracted a lot of relationships and good time with people and good connections. But I haven't attracted any of the other things because I'm not giving them attention. So how do I change that? Well, the thing that I've been doing is like I've been doing a lot of gratitude and appreciation. I'm actually journaling about them. I'm writing notes to people to thank them for things and telling it to their faces, and that's reinforcing my flourishing in relationships. But I never thought that I could do that for money and for career in a deliberate way. So what I would recommend for you guys, if there is an aspect of your life, like for example for me it's money and career, that is important for you and you feel like you want to reinforce, like just writing down 3 things that I'm grateful for today when it comes to money, for example, 3 things I'm grateful for when it comes to career, 3 things that I'm grateful for when it comes to relationship, you know, to health. So yeah, just splitting that gratitude into those categories can be really powerful. For me it's like been a complete shift of my focus and thinking, and I'm already seeing so much result out of that. So yeah, that was my second lesson. And the third lesson has to do with a special kind of dance. So you see, one thing I've started realizing lately is that there are many different spectrums or dimensions of reality. So for example, a spectrum of reality I've uncovered lately is the spectrum that has neediness and attachment on the one side, and nothingness and non-attachment on the other side. And this is a spectrum in which you have also, like for example, needs. Our just natural needs will be somewhere around the middle, you know? So that's a spectrum. And once I realized, oh, there is this nothingness side of it, where you don't have stories and you don't need anything. It's like, oh, what's that? And I went there and I started exploring how that feels like, because I'd never even imagined existed. And then, as I did that, at some point I found out that, oh, now that I've learned how that feels like, I'm starting to notice my switches between that side and this side and in the middle, and like just being aware of them. So I went through a period like this. Then, at some point, I started noticing, oh, I can now, at will, at my own choice, choose to be here or there or here, you know? And somehow, however that feels rigid, that feels like I'm going to will this thing into existence. And so this is where the dance part comes in, because I figured out, well, actually, in the final state, when you really get something, when it really sinks into you, it feels like, okay, now I can dance on this spectrum. Now I can just flow between those states and just allow them to come up and help me in any kind of situation that I'm currently facing and I need their help with. And there is a spectrum like this, for example, also for femininity and masculinity, you know? So those are energies that we have inside our bodies. And, you know, as a woman, I feel like, you know, I'm expected to aim for femininity, but actually the feminine energy is an energy that is accepting, it's soft, it's positive, it's loving, and a little bit inactive actually. Like the masculine energy is the one that has a lot of action and a lot of kind of, okay, let's do this kind of courage, you know. So it's kind of, and I'm not saying those things as men are like this and women are like that. It's just labels that I'm using for different kinds of energies. And so, in a way, once again, it's just about learning to flow between those, regardless of whether I'm a man or a woman. Like, just, you know, using them to help me in different ways in my life. But then I have to first learn them, and then over time, start flowing between them. So, this has been 3 lessons learned for me today. I hope you enjoyed them, guys. And yeah, and looking forward to sharing more soon. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.